Hey, what's up everyone? It is Brett and it is day 6 of the 10 Tips in 10 Days challenge that I'm doing on presenting. And I actually have 2 parts today, and so I'm actually gonna make this day 6 and day 7, so check that out. So for days 1 through 5, check out the previous posts. They're all kind of building up to this. And yesterday I talked about the 1 to 20 rule, how we divvy up an hour into 3 chunks to make sure we're only going over 3 major topics in each 60-minute block. And now we're gonna kind of go next level with it. So, hey, you're trying to get better presenting. Maybe you're already a great presenter and you're trying to take it to the next level. Well, this is a theory that I call the web, okay? And this has helped myself and others, and hopefully anyone out there who may be interested. But the web is a way to ensure that you attain more fluency and get to more of your audience members with your content than you were before. Okay, and it takes this idea of the 1 to 20 rule, my 3 topics. So imagine this box, right? You've got your 3 major topics you're trying to get over in your hour. But what you have to start doing is stop always looking internally at what your content is, what your presentation is, what your topics are. And sometimes you've got to turn the camera around, right? Turn the vision around and look at who is my audience, okay? And there's 2 chunks here. Web part 1 is learning styles, okay? It's very important to know who your audience is made up of and also understand that they all learn differently. So we have 3 major learning styles, right? Auditory, visual, and kinesthetic. And each of them learn and retain information in a different way. And so if you create a meeting, a presentation, and you don't account for each of those 3 learning styles, well, your meeting is probably not gonna be that great, right? And so you take your chunks of time, and within that, you've gotta make sure that you hit each one of those learning styles. You know, whether it's, like I said, visual, kinesthetic, or auditory. And so the web is an idea of a way to help you remember that, okay? So I take these long, stretching things here. Okay, so we've started with the web. What this represents is that this line, visual, auditory, kinesthetic. So when you're building your content, right, you're building those 3 chunks in an hour, each chunk needs to actually make sure that it hits one of these learning styles. So what I mean by that, if you're doing a chunk here on first topic, you've got to make sure, you know what, I have to have something visual here for the visual learners. I need to have 3 PowerPoint slides or whatever it is that talk about the main thing or have the bulletin board, right? The second one, auditory, right? Am I speaking to them? Am I talking through things? Am I talking through all my points to make sure I'm explaining everything thoroughly in a way they can remember it? And then thirdly, something that gets left out a lot is kinesthetic. And guess what? Let's say you're in sales. Oh, a huge chunk of your staff might be kinesthetic learners, and this is the one that gets forgotten about. And so if I've got a big kinesthetic curve in each meeting, in each room, I need to make sure that my topic, right, addresses that. So how can I do that? Oh, well, you know what? In your handout, turn over to the back. You're gonna write down the 3 major things you learned. Anything where they can remember it, write it down, take action. Or guess what? You gotta stand up and talk to the person next to you about the 3 bullet points you understand from this. Anything to get them moving, to get them writing, to get them interacting so they can retain the information, okay? So that's step 1. But that's just the surface level because that's just 3 learning types. But guess what? When you look out to your audience, what else do you see? You see people who look a lot different, right? We've got millennials, we've got Gen Y technically, then you have Gen X, and we have baby boomers, and guess what? They all learn differently because we learn based on our upbringing, based on the environments when we were growing up, and so we process information differently. So same thing again. Here we go, the full-blown web, right? So now we're looking at and we go, oh, we've got millennials, we've got Gen X, and we've got baby boomers crossing over. And so as I'm building out my content, once again, topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, I've got to look within that to say, hey, do I have content in here that's gonna appeal to somebody in who's a millennial? Do I have content in here that's gonna appeal to somebody who's a baby boomer, right? I might have to tweak out my meeting to allow somebody who feels like, hey, you know what, I really need to get up and speak, maybe like more like a baby boomer wants to explain their experiences. And you know what, for a millennial, I might have to make sure that in my presentation I've got some tech elements, some things that are more cutting edge that they may appreciate, right? And so as you're building your meeting, I throw this together, and obviously there's way more information you need. You can check it on my blog to kind of read more about it. But at the end of the day, if you want to become a truly great presenter, it's not going to happen if you're not taking all of these things into account, because otherwise you are leaving members of your audience unaccounted for where they're not going to retain the information.